You need to turn your brain on. Switch to the Gladius today, not the Katana. But listen to me when I say this. You need to turn your brain on. Most people go through the world completely asleep. They don't think. They don't see what's going on. They miss the underlying forces at play in the different interactions, the different businesses they're exposed to. Most people are asleep. When you're asleep, you can't make money. You can only make money asleep if you're a slave. You need to turn your brain on. Now, what do I mean when I say this, right? I mean you need to develop perspicacity. You need to learn to pay attention to what's going on around you in the outside world. You need to pay attention to what you're doing. And you need to ask yourself the question, why? You need to develop an insane level of curiosity and obsession to discover what makes things happen. You need to analyze what's happening. You need to analyze businesses. You need to analyze yourself. You need to analyze your own work. Now, toddlers are really good at this, right? When you guys were kids, you probably annoyed your parents to no end by asking them why, over and over again. Because when you're a toddler, you're trying to figure the world out. You haven't been put to sleep yet. But over time, the world tries to put you asleep because if you figure out why things are happening or how things are happening, you might not be happy with it. You might do things that are contrary to, let's say, certain powers or certain interests at play. So you have to redevelop and you need to re-trigger this ability to ask why. Because it's the answers to those questions that can give you the key insights you need to make the correct move and win, right? It's going to allow you to understand if the world works this way, if I pull this lever and this result happens, well, I'm going to pull this lever and I'm going to get this result, right? That only comes after you've learned to step back and analyze everything in your life. So what do I mean by this? I mean, analyze the way you spend your time, analyze the things that you do, analyze your behaviors, analyze your triggers. Notice when you make a mistake, when something doesn't go the way you want, you need to pause and figure out why. You need to pause and analyze, conduct an analysis, write down with a piece of paper, why didn't I get what I want? And then figure it out, right? Once you identify mistakes, you can then plan ways to overcome them in the future. If you've run into a problem at one point, you'll probably run into it again. If there are certain problems you run into over and over again, if you pay attention with your brain on, you can see it and then find a way to fix it, right? It's by going through this process, this OODA loop of living that allows you to, it's what allows you to actually achieve the outcomes that you want in life, right? You have to go through this process. You're in a program, you're going through the boot camp, you're in your Legion, you're doing things, you have results that you're seeking to get, you're trying to be successful, you have goals. When you don't achieve those goals, when something doesn't go the way it should be, there's a reason for it. There's a why that needs to be discovered. Once you discover that, you can change it. You need to also pay attention to the whys in the outside world, right? There's the famous example of when you're in a coffee shop and you sit there and analyze the business. Why do they do what they do? How does this business work? How much are they paying for rent? How much revenue are they making each day? What factors could I change to improve this? What could I do to compete to them? You need to turn your brain on, start analyzing everything you're in. Understand why. Because as you do, you'll discover key lessons. You'll discover key laws of the universe that you'll be able to then exploit for your advantage. You'll be able to use them to get what you want. But again, you have to turn your brain on. You must exercise personal cognition. Personal cognition. You have to think for yourself. You can learn. Definitely listen to good people, listen to smart people. I try and be a good guide for you as you go through the world, but listen and learn to use your own brain. All the greats do this, right? They look at the world, they understand the world, they ask questions that common man doesn't, and then they use those answers to exploit the world in a positive way for themselves and for other people, right? If you don't have your brain on, someone else will use you to live their own life, right? To accomplish their goals, right? If you don't, what is it like? If you don't have a dream, or if you don't live your dream, someone else will have you live their dream for you, or something like that, right? There's that famous quote. But basically, if you're not running your own life, someone else will run your life. And personally, I can't think of anybody I'd rather trust with running my own life than myself. So I hope you are all inspired by the idea of developing greater personal curiosity about the world. I hope you all understand the grave importance of thinking for yourself and analyzing your situation, analyzing the results you're getting, figuring out why you're not getting the results you want, and fixing it, right? Because that's like the process. That is the key, right? Now, this is sort of built in with the copywriting bootcamp. As you go through the course, as you go through the program, as you complete the exercises, there's a significant amount of self-reflection and sort of measurement that happens, and you should embrace that. There's a certain level of this that happens inside of your legion. But you need to learn to take personal responsibility for your world, for the results you want. You need to develop the habit of constant analysis, paying attention, perspicacity, paying attention to the world around you and figuring out why it works. Keep the curiosity you had as a toddler, reignite that in yourself, and watch it as it opens up new and interesting opportunities for you to exploit these laws of the universe you discover and achieve the results you want, right? This is key. Famous Andrew line, this is key. And it really, truly is, right? You guys are all learning to become copywriters, but I hope you guys understand that the real transformation occurs. The real benefit you guys are getting out of this program is you are learning to be conscious. Your brain is awakening. You're learning to see the world as it truly is, right? Once you have that ability, once you have the ability to analyze this, and you're going to learn how to analyze through the lens of copywriting, you can apply it to any aspect of your life. You can use it no matter what kind of business or important work you do in your life. This is a transferable character trait, a transferable skill of consciousness and cognition that you will use for the rest of your life. So use that information today. Sit down with a pen and paper and ask yourself, why am I not getting the results I want? And analyze why. Turn your brain on and figure it out, and then find a solution. It's crazy how many of your life's problems can be solved by just following the process of sitting down and you choose to analyze the results you have in your life and what you can do to get them. You can create an instant 10% jump in your results today just by doing so. So take the time, do the exercise, make it a habit. Always run around with the question of why inside of your brain, right? Take lots of action, do lots of things, but always with one eye, be analyzing why something is happening and why something you want isn't happening, and figuring out how to do that. Always with one side of your brain, always be doing that, because it's going to open up and illuminate the path forward for you. So, been a good call. We've had a good morning power up call this Sunday. Let's take this insight and let's use it to turn your brain on and run your own life and think for yourself. I will talk with you guys again tomorrow. Let's see if there's a cut.